Okay, so this is day 2. I've already posted on Instagram asking for a little bit of help from everybody. I don't really know what her official name is, but I've got some new information on her. She's the owner got her directly from a breeding farm where she was born, and she lived for the first 5 years of her life, basically not really being touched, with 40 or 50 other horses. So this really is as close as you can get to, let's say, unhandled, at least here. And now she's with me. So that was just a little bit of extra information on her background. So definitely hasn't been ridden and handled and lunged and all this kind of stuff, but she's taken to it very quickly. I've spent, the thing that I need help with is for some kind of a nice meaning, maybe that relates to her story a little bit, an Arabic name with a very nice meaning. So if you got any suggestions, send them across. A little bit of what you've seen what we did yesterday. Today I've spent the entire day here. I showed up a little bit late, about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Did a quick session with her, nothing new, just doing what we did yesterday. A lot more groundwork than we did yesterday, but same stuff. And I've decided I'm only going to film things that I think is going to potentially be interesting. Something that I can, maybe show how I would go about introducing new exercises, new equipment, new whatever it is, so that we get, some kind of a teaching moment, some kind of an experience where I can at least give you an option of what you could do as well. So today we're going to do today really what we want to do is get on her and start. She's shown us that she's willing or allowing me to get on the saddle without being too nervous. But still, when I showed up this morning, she was still not great. As soon as I went to the stable, she really was nervous. So I decided, you know what? I put the halter on, put the saddle on. We did a lot of groundwork. Then I showered her, I tied her. She was good, she was calm. Then I sat in her stable for 2 hours with her until she really calmed down. She just accepted me as part of the furniture. And I was just checking my phone, doing my own thing, ignoring her, just being her roommate, basically. Then I showed her that the halter doesn't mean work. I put a halter on her, and then I just took her for a long walk out in the desert, let her eat some of the grass and check out the surroundings. Really chilled. And then I came back, tied her up again, stood around, and then I actually sat down and fell asleep for 10 minutes, and she was just right next to me, and she woke me up with a little, snuggle. She touched me a little bit and said, "Are you meant to be sleeping?" So you can see that right now she's really, really, really calm, which is great. I need that foundation, that initial fabric of the relationship to be based on you be calm and let's start to feed you little bits of information. Okay, so I'm just going to get straight in it today. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just move her around, desensitize. Probably got that tarp. I'm going to put it on in between the stirrups as well so that she does all the groundwork exercise with something flapping, which, similar to my legs, and just do everything with the tarp on her. And hopefully it all goes well today. So we'll just start off with a little bit of lunging. Or actually, you know what? Maybe a little bit of desensitizing. Just letting her know you can remain chilled and relaxed. She can see or feel or sense a change in my body language a little bit. My energy. She knows something is up. Good. Take her past that tarp. Maybe we worked a little bit on moving her 4/4 away from me this morning, like that. Because I said yesterday that she was quite pushy on her right side. And I need her to get good at moving her shoulders over and yielding those shoulders away from me. So watch the front legs. Front legs is what we're looking for. Front legs, that's okay. Front legs is what we're looking for. Good. Release. And she can get all reactive and stuff. I'm not gonna react to her reacting. I'm just gonna go about it like, okay, it's just a normal thing that we do, and I turn around and ask you to move your forequarters. Front legs cross over, please. Front legs cross over, please. Like that. And then just walk away. So not really making it an official lesson, it's just part of the whole process. Same thing on this side, block her nose. I need your forequarters to move away, good. I need your hindquarters to move away, good. And now we'll just go into asking her to move. Good girl. If she wants to walk initially, I'm going to encourage that. But if she thinks she needs to trot, fine. We're going to do that anyway. And today I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to add an element of complexity to this. So she understands how to go. She understands how to yield the hindquarters. And now she understands how to yield the forequarters as well. So another name drop here. But I feel obliged to give credit to people that I've learned from or I've watched and taken something away. Buck Brannaman is a massive advocate of getting two yields. Yield one step with the hindquarters, yield one step with the forequarters, and that's how you get the change of direction. Okay, so the circles are going to be much smaller, but the communication is not going to come in one word instructions or requests. Now it's going to be linked to yield the hind, yield the forward, yield the hind, yield the fore, yield the hind, yield the fore. So it's almost like a little bit of a sentence. So she may struggle with this initially, and we are going to continue this exercise. I don't know how long it's going to take. She's going to determine that. It really depends on how she starts off. We need to notice what she's struggling with, and then I'm going to stop when I feel like there's a little bit of progress in the right direction. Okay, and that's a judgment call. How much do I want to push that? How much do I want her to enjoy what we're doing somehow, or at least not resent being with me? Okay, I like the fact that she's taken small steps towards me. She's been doing that most of the day today. Okay, ask her again. Move the shoulders. Good. So I'm going to let her go around a couple circles. Again, desensitizing her with my flag, with my leading hand in neutral, i.e. it's not pointing, it's not asking her for direction. This is just a flag going across, or a piece of paper being blown by the wind, or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to start. So one yield with the hind, one yield with the front. Okay. That was messy, but that's expected. So one yield with the hind. There's a yield. One yield with the forequart. That's it. Good. So again, it's quite, right now what I'm noticing is she's quite reactive to that. She's not really understanding what it is that she needs to do. There's the hind. There's the forequart. She's actually got the right idea there. It's not so bad. Hind, front. Good girl. And I'm doing this right now for the sake of the camera. I'm just keeping it in one place. There's the hind. There's the front. But I am going to do it all over the round pen. So I'm moving away. Yield the hind. Yield the front. Good. Brave girl. Now yield the hind. Yield the front. Good girl. And this exercise does so many things. It gets control over speed, it gets control over direction, it gets control a little bit more specific control over the way she moves, how she yields. One. So she's not yielding with the hind quarters so well. So I'm going to be a little bit more there. Anyway, this exercise, so you get direction, you get speed, you get more control in terms of your requests on how she turns, and then she also gets desensitized. It gets them listening pretty quickly. Good. Now yield. That's one yield. Good. That was very soft. Oh, that was beautiful. Unfortunately, I stepped on the rope. Sorry, girl. You can move. You did great. That was a really nice one. If we can get a few of those. That was kind of soft. No, that wasn't very good at all. Yield. Yield. Very nice. When I say nice, it's because I'm not needing to sort of make contact with her nose with my hand here. She's going off of a feel. So, hind, front. Come on, get moving. Hind. So really nice on this side. Now I'm almost ready to stop, but I just need that soft. That's soft. It just took her a little bit more time. I needed to give her a little bit more time on that other side to think through it. So with her, what I'm going to do is here just be a little bit specific because she's good about this. I'm going to ask her to respond quickly. With this side, I'm going to take a little bit more time. There's the yield. There's the yield. So we had to adapt our approach a little bit because she's not being bad. She just needed a little bit more time. And that's the whole piece on, you can learn the ABCs, but maybe it requires several horses and several experiences for you to develop a feel of what the horse needs. And here yesterday and most of today, she's been really terrible with me approaching her and touching her face. But I found that by spending a lot of time with her today, making sure that she's calm and relaxed, I've got to be slow, I've got to be gentle, I've got to be relaxed so that she feeds off that energy. There you go. See how she offers her face? She's like, go ahead, I need that touch now. A good time to breathe out and relax. And do nothing. You see how she's seeking out that touch? Good. So still a little bit, I've still got to be quite, sorry, I'm forgetting my English these days. Maybe it's been a long day. But quite no, I don't. And I don't want to push my limits or push her too hard, too fast, because I do want her to know that me being on this side or the other side or anywhere around her is, she can just relax. This is really nice. This is where all the people that have horses, they know the feeling when their horses are breathing on them. And they know their horse is just chilled. Really nice. Okay. Well, we did a little bit off camera, I think, yesterday, and a little bit today is backing her up. So with just off of very steady pressure, picking up here, asking her, if you can see, it's just the weight of good. Asked her to come forwards, and really that tying up session really helped with her understanding halter pressure. So she's a little bit nervous about that. She's not quite sure what to make of it. As soon as I let go, her head goes up, so maybe I'll stay here and rub her, let her know that it's good, instead of drop the rope and move back. See how when I move back, her head goes up? So I need her to get that comfort when she does the right thing. So I need to find, what is it that makes her comfortable? Makes her comfortable is for me to stay here and rub her. Watch the difference. If I just ask her to move back, wait until she gets it, and then I stay here, her head goes up. Yeah? So with that release, she feels a little bit of stress. What I need her to do is feel comfort. There. So horses learn from the release of pressure. All right. Just a little bit more desensitizing before we go for the big tarp. And remember, yesterday she had a problem with the back legs. That has disappeared. Very nice. Over on the other side, so she sees it off two sides of her body. Excellent. I'm expecting her to raise her head here because this is quite scary. She's not, so I'm going to reward that. I'm not going to push it. Not that I'm like extremes, but you know, a tarp or a little blue flag, same thing. So as I'm doing that, I'm not only unraveling the tarp, I'm actually desensitizing consciously. I know that when I'm doing this, she's meant to get a little bit scared, and I'm just watching. So she's telling me I'm pretty cool with all this. So what I'm going to do is just go in and touch her. Okay. And I'm actually going to throw it, I'm doing everything on this side that should be scary to her, right? It should build her confidence more and more. Good. I love that. Really growing in confidence there. Okay. And as I said, I'm going to be doing a bit of groundwork with that tarp on her back. So I don't expect her to be as responsive as before, but yield the hind, yield the front. Good girl. Yield the hind, yield the front. Very nice. Beautiful. Yield the hind. She's got to be better at yielding on this side though with that hind. It's quite bad. This is great. Let it touch her everywhere. Let it do the work for me. Now you can go over it. Good girl. Yield the hind. Beautiful. Bring her in. And that approach is very important. I don't just go at her face and hold her down and then grab her nose or grab her head. I want her to almost offer it. So, you know, it's I used to always give the example of no, we've got young ladies here. I will not go to that example. But anyway, maybe on a different video I'll explain it. Okay. You just need to tighten that girth one more time. I've done it twice already. One which is very, very loose, just keeps the saddle on. Second time is after I walked her a little bit and got her to yield a little bit. And this is the third time. I'm only going up one hole. So you remember yesterday when I was saddling her, when I was tightening that girth, she was always reaching round to nibble at me or maybe nip me. Because we didn't do it like in an aggressive manner, I didn't come in here and, tear her body into with the girth. I did it in stages. Every time she released a little bit of air, there was a bit of a gap. I just took it up a little bit, made it snug. A little bit of air, took it in a little bit, so it's a little bit snug. And now she's not developing a habit of, what they call is becoming a cinchy horse, or a horse that has a problem when you put the girth on. This is all good. And now that she understands how to yield the forequarters, I'm going to ask her to do that instead of making me move to the other side of her body. So hold, tap, 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 tap. She yields. Now she wants to put me back on this side. Take one more step this way. Tap, 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 tap. Good. That's where you get that release. Good. And when you do go to tap your horse, here's how to do it. Here's the right way of doing it. There's an area here on this cheek, okay? You shouldn't smack the nose of the horse or in front of the horse or the eyes of the horse or the ears of the horse. You've got to gradually build up this pressure, yeah? And then with this bottom part of your palm, if you have to make a bump on her, you can just increase that pressure gradually until, well, I was hoping she wouldn't. So I had to bump her, but it's kind of like just, even on a human, it's on that jaw muscle there. Just, it doesn't hurt at all, okay? So use horse logic. I'm asking you to move, or I'm suggesting, how about you move? Then I'm asking you to move. Are you gonna listen? Yes. So I never need to, on that particular time, I don't need to tell her, and I don't need to make her. I can just stop at asking. Over a few more days, if I just suggest, like that, I never need to ask. I can just suggest. And the more I do it in a logical way where I don't really betray her trust, the more comfortable, the more confident she's going to get on this side, and the more comfortable and confident she is going to be on me being on this side. All right. Now, one thing that she wasn't so good at yesterday, or there's lots, but let's just work on one thing at a time. I need her to I need her to be able to flex. So just gonna pick up here. She gave, but she's moving. So when I get on her back today and we get her moving, this is the first thing that I'm going to do. The first thing that I'm going to do is be able, or try to flex her. Or at the very least, very nice today. At the very least, what I want her to do is be able to get her head and neck bent and yield those hindquarters. That is the first kind of movement that I want to ask from the horse. And don't worry, people are going to help us with suggesting a name. A beautiful Arabic name. You can think of an English name and then put it into Google Translate and see what it comes up with. Yeah? But until then, your name is Horse. So again, she thinks she has to move. I don't mind because this gives her plenty of practice of yielding the hindquarters. She stops. Now look at my hand. I'm holding. And what am I looking for? She needs to stop her feet and then give to this pressure. It was very little bits of give. And I need you to be able to see that. There, you see that? Good. Now she moves. Too much bend for her. She's got flies on her. Oh yeah, that's the other thing we did. I did a lot of fly spraying with her so that she was comfortable with me spraying things. Good. Oh man. You should never underestimate how much a horse can learn off of 1 or 2 repetitions with really good timing, really good feel, and really good timing. So I've done none of this today. All I've done with her on the flexing is what we did yesterday. This is the second time I asked her to flex. Very light, but moved the feet there. Made the same mistake of releasing at the wrong thought. And if you're seeing her tail swish, it's not because she's frustrated. Look at her facial expression. It's because of those flies. Okay. Now I'm going to let her go because final stage before I get on and start doing everything is that she needs to canter. So she definitely notices that she's free. She's not thinking, hey, the rope halter's on, or he's got me in his hands. She knows she's free. I'm kind of hoping that she'll leave me because that will reinforce the message that when you're standing with me, you can just be chilled. Stand here, get really good at just being relaxed, doing nothing. You don't need to go anywhere, you don't need to do anything. If you choose to leave me, then that's when there's going to be a little bit of hard work, or it's harder work than being next to me. And it doesn't seem like if I stand here that she's going to move away because she's asking for my attention. She's asking for a little bit of affection. So what I might do is walk off on the bad side of her, which is on the right side. If she chooses to yield and follow, okay, then that's good. But I need her to sort of leave me so that I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Get her to move and also show her that moving away from me. Okay, good. So I'm going to wait here for a little bit. Maybe make some noise. But if I go to the back of her, what does she decide to do? She's pretty chilled now, huh? So me now taking out this rope and just throwing it at her is an example of betraying the horse's trust. Okay, so I'm not going to be in this position here and then she's not seeing me, or she's seeing me stand behind her and then I surprise her with something. She's got to see it coming. Okay. This is what she did yesterday, and she got her mouth caught. Pleased, good. Thank God she learns her own lesson. She taught herself that lesson. I can't take any credit. Now watch her ears when I blow out. You can tell that they immediately turned to hear the voice. Okay, now she knows I'm here. Her choice. What does she do? Ignore me? Walk away? Come and join me? Can't stand here all day. We've got to do something. Let's see what she does. Okay, that's not betraying the horse's trust there. She saw everything was coming. So we need her to canter a few strides here. I might need the help of my little tarp. So that kind of goes with the territory of having some kind of a dominant horse. They're not so willing to respond to your requests of getting them to move out. They'd rather say, you know what? I've still got control of my own feet, and this is just a little bit too much work for me to do without you doing a little bit of work to get that from me. I'm gonna say fine. And I want you to watch and see how long it's gonna take in terms of days, how long it's gonna take for her to respond to the lightest suggestion. It's already better. This way. So remember, if she turns away, I'm going to send her back in the original direction, then ask for a turn again. I'm not going to protect her too much. Make a mistake if you need to. Yeah, wrong decision. Wrong decision. Ask you again. Same place. She's thinking of going home. That's at the gate. There you go. Yes. So what do? Make that feel nice. But she turned good. In my mind, I was thinking there's absolutely no way she would turn from that position, because it was much easier for her to continue going to the right, turn away from me. She made a conscious decision. She thought about what she wanted to do with her feet. So I'm not going to get after her here. That was really, really nice. Gonna stop her here. Good girl. Okay. So you be the horse for 1 second. When you turn the incorrect way, you feel, this guy's got a bit of energy to him. When you turn the correct way, you just walk off calmly, and I'm very, very calm. Which one would you choose to do? Exactly. That is what's going through the horse's mind. This is good. I see a bit of life. I'm going to encourage that. Trot here. You're going to get cantered. Trot here. You're not going to get to rest at the gate. She's looking for an escape now. I'm going to let her stop over there. Play with the horse's mind a little bit. So right now I'm not asking her to do anything. I need her to know that that area where she wants to rest actually means work. The area where I say stop, that's your new safe spot. Again, gaining control of those feet. She gets that psychologically. And then it has an immediate impact on her physiology, on her biology. Get her attention. There. So I want to get her attention with the least amount of pressure, but initially, there we go. I need to be loud, she's saying. Okay, I can do that. But in fact, this is in an even better position to be relaxed. 2 eyes on me. Good girl. So here, I'm going to show her that this flag is gone, right? It's gone. Are you going to turn away? Approach her very relaxed. Touch her. Invite her to come. Does she come? She came with her eyes. Feet aren't quite there yet. Fine, no problem. No problem. I can help her out here. I can definitely help her out. How? With a little bit of guidance. So notice the difference. I'm not pulling, but she knows she's connected, right? Now her feet are more willing to be led. And again, we could try to get everything done in one session. But really there's time for all this. And honestly, after just a day with her, I feel like we've done a hell of a lot. I mean, just to back her up like that, some horses, older horses that have been ridden for ages, they've learned wrong habits, they've learned how to push into pressure, they've learned how to be heavy. And this is a nice thing about having a mare that hasn't been handled so much, is that she's still in tune with her instincts. She understands this more than horses that have been ridden a lot, you know. I like this. The fact that now, honestly, it's such a big difference. Good girl. Well done. And I don't want you to think that her pulling her ears back, that she's pinning in an aggressive way. I honestly it's my feeling that this halter is playing a role. Okay, she's not quite used to that pressure on the halter on the back of her neck. And I have no idea if she was unhandled and she was with 40 or 50 other horses. My first question is, how did they catch her? How did they put her in a trailer to take her from one place to another? Sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. I don't expect people to be able to spend a day or two with 40 or 50 horses, getting them gentle, used to everything, introducing things in a logical way. Sometimes you need to get things done. And you know, a lot of people, they use these twitches on the lip to get the horse to listen. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Sometimes if you're in a situation and you've got to do that, fine. Sometimes they use the ear, fine. As long as it's not a normal thing that you do. It's not how you handle all horses, right? And you're not doing that to the same horse over and over again. It means the horse hasn't learned anything. Okay. Can you do me a little favor? There's a white rope. You know where the wash place area is inside the stable? There's a white rope with a little loop on it and a leather thing at the end. It's white. Could you get that for me? Thank you. Okay, so just probably a good place to end this, let's call this day 2, part 1, while we get a little rope that I'm going to tie to my horn, and I'm going to use that as like a spanker, like a little whip. It's the same exact principles as everything that we've been doing on the ground. Nothing is going to be a surprise to her. There's going to be gentle suggestion, there's going to be a question, then there's going to be a demand, and then there's going to be, you know. In all 4 stages, I remain neutral on the inside. I'm not angry. Remind myself of that. Remind myself that I'm hoping that she responds to the lightest amount of pressure, but I need to make it, you know, in a way where she gets it. So if I spend 10 years, you know, just slightly tapping her, she may never ever canter. You know what I mean? She may never even trot, who knows, or at least canter. But if we get this done on day 1, hopefully we'll be in a good place. All right, let's cut there and we'll come back in a few minutes.